You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Today on our Friday review, we're going to be talking about everything from holistic dentistry and safe mercury amalgam removal, those silver fillings in your teeth, and how they're loaded with this toxic mineral, heavy metal called mercury. And then we're going to do a complete 180. And we're going to talk about one of my new favorite topics. It's been kind of creeping up into my life over the last couple years and couple springs and summer. And that's about organic gardening, the best place to find starter seeds, the best soil to use, all of those things. Now, and this is for people just looking to get started or kind of maybe take just a very beginner level approach to how easy this is literally for anyone to start growing their own organic fruits and vegetables. Mainly vegetables we're going to talk about today. So let's get right into it, and I'll show you how there's a little bit of a synergy between the two, and I'm going to pull that together hopefully as we move through the show. And as always, if you want today's show notes, so the show notes are where I link up all of my favorite products and I link up some helpful websites, all of those things. Obviously, everything is completely free. You just go to stephencabral.com/469, and that is the number of today's show. We are 469 shows deep into the Cabral concept and going strong. So let's get right into the show. Now, the first one, I had 2 mercury amalgams left in my mouth. And about a year ago, I decided that my body was healthy enough, it was strong enough, and it was time to get that metal out of my mouth. And the reason was this. I did a hair tissue mineral analysis, and I've been doing one a year for the last couple of years. Highly recommend you do the same. I'll link that up in the show notes as well. Hair tissue mineral analysis. It shows you what are your levels of mercury, what are your levels of aluminum, what are your levels of other heavy metals, as well as, of course, all your good minerals like calcium and magnesium, potassium and zinc and selenium and copper, all of those good ones. And so what it did, though, I consistently came up, even though I had cut out my high mercury fish and all those different types of things, why was I still showing up a little bit elevated in mercury? And I didn't like that because we know that mercury is a toxic heavy metal that can lead to autoimmune-based diseases, Hashimoto's, rheumatoid arthritis, a lot of other ones, because it's an immune system aggravant. And anytime you aggravate your immune system, it can become overactive in one area or another, and that can also cause autoimmune-based issues. But even more important than that, you need to start worrying about your brain health today at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, not at 70 and 80. I mean, at that time, there's a lot of oxidation that takes place. Now, if you are 70 or 80, that's okay. Start doing the work now, and you can still reverse a lot of that damage. But these metals are basically neurotoxins, and they cause oxidation at the same time. That's essentially like rusting out your brain or rusting out your nervous system. You obviously and clearly do not want this happening within your body. So what you need to do is just remove these sources of mercury within the body. Now, I mean, you're going to start to understand, like if you've been listening to the Cabral concept long enough, it is not me promoting my detoxification protocol. It's me promoting detoxification. There's no way around it. If you listen to really any good integrative doctor, any good functional medicine practitioner, naturopath, they're going to say, you have to detox. You can't listen to all these people say, oh, your body detox on a daily basis. I can prove it to any single person that your body is not fully detoxing. Yes, it is. It's detoxing every second of the day. But is it fully doing that? No. And it's very simple. All you have to do is a urine-based toxicity test. We have one on our website. I've said to many, many people, trust me, you think that you are fully detoxed on a daily basis? Try it. Take the test. See, you're going to see that you have flame retardants, that you have PCPs, that you have plastics, that you have brake dust, that you have gas fumes, that you have all these things accumulating in your body, in your blood. The average person has well over 200 toxins in their body, and the majority of these are cancer causing. And then we wonder like, oh, well, how do we cure cancer? How do we stop cancer? Well, first of all, we have to stop making it such a cancerous environment. And second of all, we need to be detoxifying on a daily basis. Now, they were doing this 6,000 years ago when they didn't even have all these synthetic man-made environmental toxins like we have today. They were doing that because they knew that even food-based toxins and endogenous cellular waste built up in the body. That was called panchakarma. And I'm going to be talking about, again, a lot more in my upcoming book, which will hopefully be out, hopefully soon, but again, not for a little while, but hopefully soon. So let me get back on track. Now, what does that have to do with removing your mercury amalgams? Well, it has to do because over time, mine were about 20 years old. And so when you have old mercury amalgams, what happens is they can start to upturn. So I went to a really great dentist, and I've been looking for one for a long time because you just don't want any dentist to take out mercury amalgams. Let me repeat that. Do not have your local dentist take out your silver fillings ever. It's so much worse for you than keeping them in your mouth. Here's the reason why. They take them out by cutting those mercury amalgams in half or drilling them out. The mercury then becomes a vapor, like a dust, nanoparticles. That then can go directly into your bloodstream through the capillaries in your mouth. You breathe them in through your nose. They go right into your lungs. That is the worst way to get mercury into your body. So you would much rather just keep them sealed in your mouth. However, mine were starting to upturn. They took x-rays, or I should say photos, where they just have a really high-tech camera. And I saw that they were starting to leak. Every time I chewed, that mercury was starting to become a vapor and it would start to leak into my body. And I said, okay, my body's strong. And before you have your mercury amalgams removed, you do a 3 weeks prior detox. You do infrared sauna, then the day of, if possible, when you have them removed. And for the next 3 weeks or so after that, as many times a week as possible, for as long as possible. And then, of course, you want to be doing a detox like the Dr. Cabral detox as well. And then adding in something like the daily fruit and vegetable blend or cilantro on a daily basis to keep making sure that you're removing that, for about 3 weeks after your removal as well. So if you're in the Boston area, I went to Dr. Yuko Torgu. She's fantastic. Her practice is Harmony Dental. She has the highest level of certification. So that's what I want to talk about today. So the highest level of certification really around the world is called the Smart Certified Dentist Certification. And so I want to just let you know what that stands for. So it stands for the Safe Mercury Amalgam Removal Technique. It is not just cutting them out of your mouth and then putting in white porcelain or some other type of filling, okay, which is obviously less toxic. Now, there's toxicities to all these things, but we have to look at degrees of toxicity. So when you're doing the smart-based technique, you will know that it's proper if they put a rubber dam in your mouth and around the tooth. So essentially what they're doing is sealing off your entire mouth except for around that tooth, and then they're using specific things like, it almost looks like a vacuum, so they're sucking the vapors right out away from your mouth into the tube. I'm not going to make this a full show in this. Maybe I will do a full show on mercury amalgam in the future, but what I want to do is simply point you in the right direction. So I'm going to link up the website. The website is IAOMT.org. That is the International Academy of Oral Medicine and Toxicology. Here's the other reason why I like this website. It has a lot of articles. So on the article categories, you can just click on the amalgam debate. They'll give you both sides. They'll talk about autism and vaccines and also mercury amalgams. They'll talk about biological dentistry. They'll talk about composites and detox and all these different things that kind of go into dentistry, because you really, when you are making changes to your teeth, it has so many ramifications on the health and the rest of your body. So check that out. Just go to IAOMT, and you can actually search your state and internationally as well for a dentist in your area that can do a safe removal of your mercury amalgams. Just remember, get your body healthy first so that it's strong enough to go through this. Unless your mercury amalgams are just leaking, and then, of course, you really should take them out. Probably not all in the same day, because that would be quite a shock on the system, but you could certainly do a couple at a time. All right, let's move on to our next source here, which I did say there was a slight connection. Why is there a slight connection? Because if you've listened to my previous shows on heavy metal toxicity, so check that out. Heavy metal detox and heavy metal toxicity. I did a previous show showing you that in 42 days, that's 6 weeks, you can really remove up to 92% of all the lead, the mercury, and other heavy metals in your body by using just a few products. And we have all of those products for you at the lowest possible price at stevencabral.com/store. But of course, you never have to get them from us. But all you have to do is you go to the website, you look at the products, you say, do I want to purchase them from Stephen Cabral, or do I not? And you can get them from your local naturopath, your functional medicine doctor. My job is to give you the education. And I also give you my plan of how I use them. So that's it. And that's what the education is all about. Like, choose whoever you trust, choose the easiest thing, for you to do, but always make sure that you're getting good functional brands. But one of the products that's very, very important that they use is cilantro. Now, cilantro, you can grow that yourself. It's so easy to grow. And it's also so great to juice, to put in smoothies. I put it on top of like dinner and bowls, pretty much anything. You could put it in anything you want, a rice bowl, veggies, and it is so amazing for your health and detoxification. Okay, so that's how I made that. You didn't think I could make a connection between the two. So really, you can grow your own right at home. Like, you could literally put it in near a window, and you could put it in a small pot, and you could grow your own organic cilantro. So what I want to do first is just give you a couple of the websites that I would recommend if you're looking for just good quality seeds. So all you have to do, and it's so inexpensive to buy seeds, and I'm telling you, if you have kids or nieces and nephews, plant seeds with them. I mean, it is remarkable how fascinating it is. Even me as an adult, although I probably am just like a kid with all this fun stuff we look at in natural health. I love seeing all of this and I love explaining it. You can grow your own out of just a little seed. You get this nice organic soil. I'm going to give you all the links today. And you can watch this sprout up from honestly nothing. You help to make that. You get to pick it fresh that same night when you put it on your dinner. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, really, really. You should I urge you to at least try. You can just get a couple home plants. And one of those can be basil. So you can start to make your own pesto sauce, which is phenomenal. I'm telling you, I'm going to get my wife to share her vegan-based recipe for that. And cilantro would just be another one. And so why don't I link up cilantro directly as well for you in today's show notes. And one website to buy that from is called seedsavers.org. Now, they're a nonprofit. They also offer heirloom and organic varieties. And it's so inexpensive. It's anywhere from like $2.99 to like $12 to get 250 seeds, like a remarkable number of seeds. And these are real preserved, old school, like fresh herbs and seeds. So I can't recommend them enough. They're fantastic. And I'll look to see where they ship, but really, really great company. And the other one is called heirloom-organics.com. And again, I have no affiliation with these websites, except that they look just like good. They're good people. They're good websites, and they're honest. They have a lot of integrity. I've ordered from them myself, and it's simple to do. I mean, I'm going to link this up in the show notes as well. I am not a professional gardener, nor do I pretend to be. It's a hobby. It's something I enjoy. I love showing my two girls how they can grow their own food. I believe it makes a better connection between you and the food and nature when you see how it grows. You start to understand the importance of the food around you and getting good quality food. Well, again, since I'm not a professional, like most things, I'm reading, I'm researching, and that's actually why gardening, and for me, like taking off to Maine on some weekends and things like that, it gets me with my head out of a book, my head out of like consultations and doing this like, complex work and just really getting out in nature and just getting more of a balance to my life. I'm telling you, I've really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the entire process. And this website, heirloom-organics.com, and I'll link up the direct page, they have guides on how to grow everything from lavender to lemon balm to mint, which is just great to put in like lemonade, fresh, of course, that you've made yourself, or mint-based drinks or mint tea. They show you how to grow echinacea and cumin and all sorts of different herbs. And there's a guide for each one of them, like even ashwagandha. So I'm going to link up to that. I find it very fascinating and also very helpful. And of course, why do they do that? Well, they do that to provide you with content because they're very passionate about it, but then you can also purchase the seeds from them. Now, of course, keep in mind, these seeds only cost a couple dollars. That's it. And there's usually free shipping over $99. And for $99, you're buying a lot of herbs. Like, you can get a full garden if you want. So which brings me to my next point. What I do, so I live in the city in Boston, and I try to go to Maine when I can on the weekends. And we grow above ground planters. So we have a lot of chipmunks in Maine. We've got a lot of little guys running around that would happily eat all the vegetables that I plant. So we have these beds. I think they're about 3 feet off the ground. And what they do is they have about 10-inch deep. So I know that some products, some vegetables, you want a deeper base. But for me, this is perfect. They're easy to put together. There's no nails. They are safe finish, very, very clean. And they're meant to just basically age and weather. And that's what I like, because I don't like a lot of upkeep. So they're made from red cedar as well, if anyone wonders. And so they're just basically big planters. They're very simple. You can put them in any backyard, no matter where you are. So I'm in New England, so there's not a lot of growing season for this, but there certainly is during the summer and into the fall. So we get all of June, so we're planting in early May, and then we get to harvest essentially all the way through late October. So we get a good 6 months, and that's fantastic. So that's enough for us, and we could freeze some if we wanted to. But to be honest, we go through all of it, so there's really none left. If we go through a whole head of lettuce just at a dinner, so you can see how quickly it could go. But fantastic, and obviously you're getting it straight out of your garden. You want to talk about probiotics. If you have a clean garden, you're obviously not spraying anything like that, and you're not washing that, you're getting trillions of healthy bacteria. Okay, so then what do we put in it? We put in a product. It's an organic potting soil. It's meant specifically for herbs and vegetables. You can also put flowers in it if you wanted to use this for flowering. And it's called Black Gold. It's an organic potting soil. It's not cheap, but it's worth it. And what I found was that you just need about 3 to 4 bags for each one of these planters. Or you can just buy 1 bag, and that's plenty for anything that you have for home planting, your own little small home indoor garden, if that's what you chose to do. And it's included with organic fertilizer already in the soil. This is a deep, rich black soil. It's excellent. As earthworm castings, this is a powerful soil. Well worth it, I believe. And honestly, for the last 3 years or so I've been using it, my vegetables have grown like weeds, like literally sprouting up, and I get multiple sprouts per season. So really, really nice. Some of the things that I plant I plant baby kale, I plant basil, I plant cilantro, I plant butter lettuce, I plant rainbow carrots, a bunch of really nice things that I use a lot of, and I also juice myself as well. So those are the main things that I wanted to bring you today. And I really think that this is going to move you in the right direction, whether you're looking, first of all, to remove those Mercury Amalgams. And then second, how can we start to get more into connecting and communing with nature? And some of these organic growing guides, absolutely fantastic as well. I'm going to link everything up in the show notes today. This was episode 469. So you can just go to stephencabral.com/469. And I almost forgot, I should have started the show with this. But the winner of our rating and review for the Cabral concept was E.S. Slove, or ESS Love, however you want to look at it. It's E, small s, uppercase S, uppercase LOVE. If that is you, please email support@drcabral.com. detox.com. And what we're going to do is we're going to send you the prize. You are the winner. So you're winning the Withings Active Fitness Tracker. It tracks sleep. It tracks your steps per day. It tracks all those great things. If you've heard me review Withings before, this is not a prize that Withings gave me to give away. It's not like that. We actually purchased this and we're giving it away. We've been using these for the last couple of years in our practice as well. So ESS Love, you are the winner of the rating and review. Each couple weeks, we are going to give away another prize for anyone that just chooses to really help us out, help us spread our mission by simply going to iTunes and doing a rating and review of the Cabral concept. Thank you everyone for tuning into the Cabral concept each and every day. We appreciate all of your listens, and I hope that you'll be back tomorrow where we answer all of our community questions on the host calls. Take care, everyone. I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stevencabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.